So, hi, my name is Noob Salmon and this is a commentated speedrun of Fallout 3 all DLCs. The category is pretty straightforward, we just need to complete the 5 DLCs in the game. A common question among people who don't know about this category is that do we need to complete all the DLC quests? The question, or the answer for this question is no. You only need to start the DLC and then you need to finish it, or finish the last objective of the last quest basically. And that's what we're gonna do. We start from a pre-made save. This is the first autosave that the game makes when you gain control of your character. So it's pretty much not that big of a skip from new game. Anyways, run starts in 3, 2, 1, go. So, first thing I'm gonna do is quick save, quick load a lot. That skips NPC's dialogue. Quick save and quick load can be used for going through walls, negating fall damage. It depends on, or most of the glitches are depending on this quick save, quick loading. So, pretty much this run is based around speech. We need speech to 100 as soon as possible. There are 3 very hard speed checks. 2 of them we're gonna do by the speed check, by our speed skill, and 1 is done by picking Perk or Black Widow. Just skip that dialogue here. We just need to get out of the vault as fast as possible. And also skipping dialogue here to trigger our birthday party. But we are kind of antisocial. Birthday parties are lame and slow. Gonna leave by skipping dialogue and then clipping through this door. That way you don't have to sit through your birthday party. Going downstairs to talk to Jonas. This is the combat tutorial basically, as a 10-year-old, because why not?
Are you ready for your surprise?
Here's our dad. We get a BB gun. I shoot Jonas because he walked to this room faster by that. Need to shoot 3 targets. And then a red roach spawns and just kill him. First try, easy.
Good work.
Good work.
Hey Jonas, get a picture of me with the big
Then I push that here because he's slow. And skipping Jonas' dialogue, and we are transitioning to 8:16, where we take the goat. As I mentioned, speech is important in this run, so we're gonna taking the goat exam is just picking 3 skills to tag, and tagging means that it adds 15 extra points to them. So that's what we're gonna do. The 2 others are gonna be mostly for safety, but speech is the most important one. Medicine and speech. This is a completely new route, by the way. I will talk about that when I have more time to talk about it, but we used to do this beginning at way differently. So we are 19 now. We start the first quest. This was just a tutorial. This is called Escape, and we're gonna escape as soon as possible. First we're gonna pick up the items from this box, and then I'm gonna clip here. I'm falling out of bounds, and if you fall out of bounds too much, the game resets you a specified position, so I just teleported there. Also, I'm just punching in the air because that way NPCs won't talk to you. I'm doing the same trick here again, so I can save some walking time, and then I'm gonna grab this door, out of bounds, going out of bounds, and again, the same thing. This is called COC warping, by the way. Again, you just fall out of bounds, and the game has a failsafe for that, which is just resetting you on a point on the cell called COC point. That stands for center on cell. And you can skip basically the backtracking, or you can just skip areas inside of you know, interior cells. Right, as you can see, I'm kind of walking slow, so we're gonna get some help from our buddy Lucky Harry. Now the DLCs are loading, and there are traveling merchants in this game, and Lucky is the one who's selling 2 items that are needed for the run. So I need to wait for him 1 more hour maybe.
Fellow
and there we go.
Enjoy my selection.
I sell 8 stim packs to him, because that's enough for it. And I'm gonna do a glitch now. Just reloading this, or just equipping stuff, hotkeying. I'm gonna make a save here for safety. Then I'm gonna go do a speed glitch called Speed Cripple. Essentially, I made a quick save. Oops. Wait for this pop-up. There we go. Just because it messes up stuff. And there we go. Not first try, but cool. Yeah. So what I did, that made that quick save, and then I crippled my legs. When your legs get crippled, you lose your speed, and I quickly reloaded the game. In this way, the game gets really confused, and normally when you get crippled, your speed gets to 0, then it gets compensated about 60% of your normal speed. But in this way, the game gets again confused, and then gonna stack this 60% compensation to your normal speed, so you're walking around 60% faster in this run. There are 2 versions of it, the breakable and the unbreakable one. The breakable one, if you reload the game anytime, you will lose this glitch. The unbreakable one doesn't break by reloads. It can break though from crippling your legs again, or just quitting to the main menu, or just alt-tabbing the game, or alt-F4ing. So right now I'm gonna start my first DLC called Operation Anchorage. First I need to discover Marigold metro station. This is just the fast travel point. Yeah, the first DLC is about simulation. Basically you're helping the Brotherhood outcasts, because they wanna unlock a stash full of weapons and armor and everything, but you need to complete simulation, namely the simulation of the battle for Anchorage, which happened like 200 years before the events of this game. And the only people who can operate the simulation are one with Pip-Boy, so you are the perfect candidate, so you're gonna help them. Oops, that was weird. Get stuck there. You have to go to this door, to the metro station. Normally this door is not here if the DLC is not installed. And this DLC is not that interesting in terms of speedrunning. You have to follow pretty much straight path, straight route. But it's actually pretty broken compared to the casual playthrough. Again, punching the air, this guy won't talk to me. I'll take a shortcut to the outcast base, because again, this is shorter, just going through the walls here by quick save, quick loading, and then trying to jump on these rubber. And entering the lift, or elevator. But this elevator is pretty slow, so we're gonna make this a bit faster. It also skips a dialogue with the guy, so you just trying to COC warp out here. There we go. And you are here where you need to go.
Look, Wastelander.
So we are offering our help to this guy, and we need to get a suit from a scribe so we can enter actually the pod.
You're here to help?
for the simulation. Otherwise, I think you will die or something if you don't do this. There we go. I use the glitch called third person interaction glitch to sit in the pod faster. In third person, your camera has a weird hitbox, so you can actually access things through walls and objects.
Hey, wake up. Come on. Snap at him.
So this DLC is very similar to like Call of Duty or something. Many people make that analogy to that. I dropped my armor because that actually slows me down. If your armor is 5 pounds or more heavier, then it slows you down. But I have a chance to lose health pretty much because of this. There's a weird bug in this DLC that can happen, is that if you quit the game and reload it, you lose more damage, or you lose more health, or get more damage in this DLC for some reason. It killed many runs before. So first things first, we're gonna need to destroy 3 artillery guns. And then we have more tasks after that, but we're gonna skip all of that after we are done with this task specifically. We need to meet Sergeant Montgomery again, then we're just gonna run from him. We're supposed to follow him or, you know, help him with this fight, but we're just gonna run to the end. We don't need him. Gonna jump down here from here.
God damn, this place is...
This is pretty scary. There we go. Here we go, and I'm just taking this route here. This is just, you know, optimization to do this way. This is pretty much just making sure I don't fall off, I don't get shot too many times. So right now I lost not much health, but I actually did practice runs of this and I almost died here, so that can be the difference. I don't know the reason. I think it's just not even bad luck, but a bug, pretty much. I'm just gonna heal no matter what, because it's basically free. There are some health dispensers in this game, or this simulation, which just regenerates your health completely. Those ones are pretty OP. Also, if you die in this simulation, you die in real life. They trying to make a point like you lose, like you get heart attacks or something, or heart stops or something. I don't know. It's kind of stupid, but we're just gonna go with it. So the reason why I'm doing this, because this is the only way to get to the final part of the run. Because the game gonna teleport you after this quest. Nice, we made the swag jump there. That's very hard. Not really, just looks fancy. Anyways, here we go. We're gonna destroy the artillery guns by putting some good old C4 on them. The second one, there we go, and then the third one. Then we just need to wait until all 3 of them blows up and the game will teleport us. So usually I take the time to either, you know, shoot these guys for fun or just, you know, go down here. I don't take damage from the explosions and just heal myself constantly, because you don't need to do anything else. And then the DLC breaks completely after this. Not much more left, come on. And there we go. Full health, no problem.
Those targets can't. Damn fine.
I need to talk to the general here and then just skipping through his dialogue in this cutscene because it's not that important for us.
So, you're in.
And normally you have to, as you can see, like guide the strike team. There are, I think, 2 missions, and then and there's the final infiltration of the base. But we're gonna skip all of it because they actually go. You can go do a big skip here. So as I said, there are 2 covert missions here, and then you have to disable this force field and go through the trenches to the end and kill General Jingwei, who is the main general of... I forgot to do this. Hang on. You get back your armor here. Oh my god, this jump is funny. I can't use my Pip-Boy. There we go. So I make this jump in third person because otherwise you can't do this for some reason. Also, you get back your armor, which I drop so I have to walk faster. Then this place is out of bounds. You're not supposed to be here. This allows us to go to the very end, the very last building. And if you enter it, it triggers the very last quest of the DLC. So we're gonna complete that. The thing about the last, or beating General Jingwei and his squad is that there is a speed check here, which allows you to, General Jingwei to kill himself. And yeah, pretty much we're gonna do that. Otherwise, you have to kill everyone there, and it's very long. And this is the first part why we needed the speech skill to be as high as possible. For some reason there's a invisible wall there, except for the end where there's a hole you can walk through, and entering this building lets you get to the very end. And I'm making quick saves. If I fail the speed check, I'm gonna try to reload it. There we go, just reloaded it. Second try, third try. No, fourth try. Fourth try is the charm. And the cutscene will be bugged because he's supposed to be killing himself with his sword, but he's gonna just do this for some reason. There we go, and that's the first DLC done. Pretty big skip. You're gonna see this kind of skips a couple of times because DLCs are pretty broken. But I was actually not telling the truth because the DLC is done once you take the armor here. There we go. Now it's done. I'm gonna leave. Again, speech. And then I think this was empty. I'm not super comfortable with this route because I actually just made this up today. But I will explain everything about how the route goes and how we used to do it and why we do this way now. Or I do this way. I'm gonna just drop this and then missile launcher pistol, steam pack, then I'm gonna go to Vault 101. So what I'm gonna do is actually finish or trying to do the any person route, because for the DLC called Broken Steel, we need to actually finish the game. And the fastest way to finish the game is, the any person route, which is getting the GEC from Vault 87. You are not, that's pretty much at the end of the run, or the main quest storyline, but you can skip the whole main quest by getting the GEC and also activating the fire alarm at Vault 87, and that completes an optional objective in the main quest line, and you pretty much gonna trigger the ending of the main quest line. This is the ROM featured in any percent. Pretty much the thing about Broken Steel is that it's not really a DLC, it's sort of like an extension of the main game or the main story. And we are doing this now just because after Vault 87, you know, if you played this game before, you know the any percent route that we're gonna teleport to Raven Rock, which is the northeast side of the map, and that just skips, you know, walking section there, and you can just skip that walking towards there, and it's gonna be convenient for us. All right. I have time to talk about clipping, and yeah, clipping is one thing I forgot to mention, that you quick save, quick load just to clip through walls, just because there's a rendering sequence in this game, which means that the floor and your character loads first and then everything else after, so you can occupy the space of an object if you quick save, quick load next to it, and it will just push sometimes through that space. And this is how we do this. This can be really inconsistent. Not every wall works, not every surface works, but if you play this or run this game for a long time, you will know which ones you can do, which ones you can't. Yeah, Bethesda is renowned for going out of bounds pretty easily. Probably Fallout 3 and New Vegas are the two easiest one to get out of bounds. Quick saving, quick loading works in these two games probably yeah, the most broken way. So we are at the end of our walk. We go to Little Lamplight, then we're gonna void out, quickly enter to Vault 87. And we're gonna do a fun glitch here. Again, I'm just trying to explain any person now. Called Swiminair. So I'm just gonna void out here. Then I'm gonna try to clip through this. Come on. Strafe jumping is hard in this game. This rock. It's not the easiest thing to do. Then I'm gonna make a quick save out of bounds in the water, and I'm gonna make a quick load in bounds. And this reserves my state of me swimming. And if I reload this out of bounds, I will still remain this state. And I can do this forever, basically, but the reason why I'm doing this is to skip this part and get to the murder pass door. This is a very old glitch in this game. So sometimes some of the super mutants have like missile launcher. That's very bad because you can get your lag tripled and you'll use speed triple. The reason why I made a save, because you can go back to that save and reapply speed triple, because speed triple is actually transferable to other save files. That's why it's so good. The only bad thing about it is that, you know, you can lose it quickly, and if the game crashes, which can happen, then you have to reapply it. You can make a save during a run if you want to reapply it, but you cannot apply saves from, you know, previous attempts. There's a rock boss clip here, which I didn't do for some reason. It saves like 2 seconds, so you don't have to. And if you get the gag, which you can normally, nothing will happen. The main quest line won't recur, so we actually need to trigger it. I'm just going out of bounds here and grabbing a door. I'm gonna void out here. And you have to activate the fire alarm to free Folks from his cell. And I void out back here. You can see it starts the quest Finding Guardian of Eden. And now, technically, if I get the gag, the main quest line will trigger the next quest. So normally folks supposed to get the gag for you, but it's really slow, so we're gonna get it. The hard part is getting inside of the gag chamber and getting the gag. Again, using the third person interaction glitch, so I skip the part where the, container opens. It's like 10 seconds, very slow. Got the gag, void it out, and then I'm gonna trigger the flashbang here. Very nice. So this is where we teleport to Ravenlock. We won't complete the main quest just now. This is just for convenience, as I said. After this, the Ravenlock, you need to get the FAV virus, and then go back to the Citadel, which we have never been before. And that starts the very final quest, which just putting the code into the purifier in Jefferson. But again, we skip the whole of it. For example, in any percent. Any percent is just 50 minutes long. It's a very short run. This is an unskippable cutscene, by the way. I can't skip dialogue here or anything.
So, you're awake.
So it's very important to pick these options, otherwise you die. And I'm gonna skip dialogue here as the president. And I'm gonna skip dialogue in a different way because he talks really slow. So I need to actually time out or space out my quick saves, quick loads. So I can't just spam it like a crazy person. So I'm getting back my stuff because I'm gonna need them. Also it's for safety because of the simpacks. Speech. And then Scoundrel adds more points to speech, so right now I'm max for speech. Pretty much I'm gonna add points to medicine and energy weapons just because it gives you a bit of advantage and safety for the rest of the run. Alright, just need to reach President Eden. And here comes a strat called Presidential Door Clip, which is very hard. Oops, yeah, whatever. So you can skip this door and this door will open. You skip the fight and you don't have to wait for the robots to kill those soldiers. But it was a fairly fast fight, so might as well just go this way, the backup strat. So we need to go talk to the president, get the FAV, otherwise we can't leave. Trying to escape is oh, there we go, easy. This forced me back here. I need to walk to this way because the rest of this cell won't load otherwise. For whatever reason, this is just triggers this part. I can get crippled here by a missile launcher guy here. But I survived it, so cool. This was an okay section. This can be really hard, but we did it. And we're gonna move away from here and we're gonna do our next DLC soon. In this part there is a DLC called The Pit. Yeah. No, sorry. We're not gonna do the pit first, but we're gonna set up the pit first because it's on our way. We're gonna just start the first objective and also discovering some places, but we're gonna actually do another DLC first. So I have a bunch of time now because it's a long walking section to explain stuff. How should I start? So the reason why I'm doing this route compared to previously we actually couldn't level up because we left the Vault 101 earlier, and if you skip the completing escape, which is the first quest, first main quest, then you won't level up. This happens in any percent as well, that the completing escape quests means that it triggers the level up to level 2, and then basically the whole level up system. But if you skip that, you won't level up. And we didn't really need to level up all the DLCs because there was no reason. There were 2 speed checks back then, and I think both of them were 25%, and technically you can do that first try, so there was no reason to add points to speech, anything. So we just skipped that. But what I found out recently, and that's why I'm kinda doing this, is because for speaking to Colonel Autumn at the end, we'll do some. Let's go. Hang on, I'm just gonna explain this, what's happening, then I'm gonna continue. Anyways, we just discovered a location for the train tunnels, and I'm gonna help this guy. Die. Really?
Thank you for your help with this.
So it's Werner. He's gonna tell us to go to the pit and help him find a cure for a disease there. And he said we are okay, so we're gonna need to go back to the train station, to the pit, but we're not gonna do that right now. Alright. Anyways, so for finishing the main quest storyline, you need to escort Liberty Prime, who is this big robot thing, from the Citadel to Jefferson Memorial, and it's a very long walk. It's like a 6-minute walk where basically an auto-scroller, and I wanted to find a way to skip this, and there's a way to skip it and go to the end of to the Jefferson Memorial, but you can actually soft lock broken still by that if you complete the game, because you need to also trigger certain scripted events to make that happen, and I couldn't make it work, so I find a way to do it, which is just instead of killing Colonel Autumn at the end, you need to convince him to give up, and that for some reason will confuse the AI there, and then it will be the main quest line will be completed, and I have 1 soft lock broken still. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, because that's also a very hard speed check. I think if you don't do this by having 100 speech, you have a chance like 6% of convincing Autumn to give up. So this is a more safer way, and you also negate dialogue RNG, so that's why it's faster. But you will lose time at the beginning because you need to go through the Vault 101 section without the sequence break, and also you're gonna lose time from the level ups, but it's like a 2-minute time loss compared to, a 6-minute one, because you skip the whole escort quest with Liberty Prime. Anyways, we set up the pit, and then this is a long walk, that's why I explain this now. I probably won't have time to explain it. Other location, we're gonna walk to the alien crash site, and that's gonna start the second DLC we're gonna complete, which is Mothership Zeta. That's also a very broken DLC. Normally, if you go here, then nothing will happen if you don't have the DLC installed, but when you have the DLC installed, this will happen. You get beamed up. Yeah, and again, talking about that, like the word record can skip. The word record on has a Liberty Prime skip without this leveling up thing and leveling up speech, but the route that Jabu has with the word record holder is very risky because sometimes the trick won't work. which is not marathon safety at all. So this is just the idea I made. It's still faster than, again, going through that very long auto scroller. So I think this is still gonna be much enjoyable. Anyways, Mothership Zeta is probably the most boring DLC. This is the DLC that I don't really like. The reason why I'd be doing this and not the pit first, even though it's closer, because after this DLC you're gonna get a very OP weapon called the Alien Blaster, which you're gonna use for the rest of our run, and sadly you can only get it after the end of the DLC, so you might as well do the DLC now and get the weapon. And you will see how broken this DLC is. So
about time you woke up.
The essential story is that you need to defeat the alien spaceship and get teleported back to Earth because you are in space. You then get the shock button from this guy. Where is it? Also our stuff. We have to skip this door and talk with Sally. Oh, I never actually had this. There we go. Easy. It's a girl gonna help us. There we go. And for normally you have to go through, I think, the generators and destroy the generators so you can go out of space. Have a spacewalk, and in the spacewalk you can fix some stuff so you can get an access to the teleporter to the main bridge or the captain's bridge. But it turns out that you can just clip through walls and then you can get to the teleporter because it's actually hidden somewhere. Just need to go get to there basically. It's pretty broken. It's probably the fastest DLC, I think. And actually we are coming to the end of it. The long part is the end fight with the other alien spaceship. I'm gonna make a save here just because I can fall here. I need to grab that. And it's not easy, so that's why I made the save. I have to reload this. So you see I'm almost grabbing it. There we go. And the game just trying to let me fall. It's actually hard to do. That went fairly well. Compared to doing this for like 5 minutes straight. Sometimes that happens. One more guy there. Yeah, the alien weapons are pretty OP. And the energy weapon skill is needed for the Alien Blaster, by the way, but it's such a good weapon that we don't really need that skill, but it's still convenient and cool. And I'm grabbing this stuff because I can sell it to the Point Liquid DLC because we need some boat tickets for that, which are very expensive. That's why I also grabbed the armor from Anchorage. That's also a new strat that I found, but for safety purposes I just grabbed these weapons. Also, since, you know, we just teleported here, the NPC is supposed to follow you all the way, but they are pretty slow because you just clip here. Alright, so what happens is that I just made our death ray as powerful as possible. You can switch through these buttons and either you have full armor or shield compared to, you know, our death ray energy levels, I guess. But they won't beat us, so we just might as well make this fight a bit faster. Even though it's RNG, sadly, sometimes you get your energy levels down, and you have to press some buttons to make them work again. There's some cooldown here as well. Yeah, we are 7%, 70%. Let's see how much. Yeah, that's what I meant. I have to press these 4 buttons so the power goes back. It's a few seconds time lost.
Wait, did anyone hear that?
There we go, 50%. Oops. Yeah, this is not the best RNG, but you have to circle through this and just... This is an auto-scroller part. That's what we get for skipping the whole DLC, basically. I think one more shot and that will be it. No? Interesting.
I think he's from Japan.
And there we go. And walk here and then back.
Hey, I thought you should
Because
know.
if this guy talks to me, it opens the teleporter back to Earth. Points to medicine for safety, and then I can put points to... I think that is girl is just for safety, it doesn't matter too much now. And that was the second DLC, pretty fast as well. These are the 2 fastest DLCs, the rest won't be that fast, sadly. But they are still fast compared to, you know, other stuff. Alright, so I'm gonna drop this missile launcher, stim pack, and then now, since we have our weapon, we can do the pit DLC immediately. Entering the train tunnel. And this DLC is also very broken in a way. I will try to explain it, but it probably won't make much sense, because in this first section outside, I have to go in third person, because Werner is supposed to be leading you here. And if he follows you there and that kind of stuff, or you follow him, then you can enter the pit and do the whole DLC or the main quest line pretty much normally. The problem with that is that that triggers a thing where Werner will go back to his hiding place, and that means that you need to go to him, and also you need to kill another NPC at the end. So we just skip that, and in this way Werner will follow you to the end. You can talk to him immediately and just finish the DLC as fast as possible. It doesn't make much sense, but you know, for some reason it works. This is how we essentially glitch out the DLC. So the hard part is that you are slow again, and you have to be worried about your crippled state, because yeah, I got crippled. So that's what happens, sadly. I'm gonna heal my legs. That was unfortunate. I'm gonna heal my legs and make a save, and then I'm gonna reapply speed cripple. Yeah, that's what I meant. Those mines are dangerous. Oh no, I got the breakable one. Again, I need to quit the game just because it's easier to reapply it if you restart the game. Yeah, this is a wrong killer, definitely. It happens sometimes it doesn't. If you are careful enough, but it's not big of a deal. Come on. Oh, nice. There we go. It took a bit more than I expected, but it's fine. As you can see, I'm in a crippled state here, but I'm still walking fairly fast. This is because the speed cripple only affects your first-person view. In third person, you are still walking in like crippled speed, basically. So normally you have to talk to the guard here, and they let you in if you're wearing a slave outfit or something. But I just clip through there. There's Medea, she's the second person that, you know, basically she's with Werner. And normally you have to walk with her to her house, and she tells you that the only way you can, you know, walk freely if you are, if you work, basically, because these are slaves. And you need to have 10 steel ingots so you can prove that you are a slave. Also, for the story of this DLC is that this is basically Pittsburgh, and there's a guy named Asher who acts as a tyrant, and these guys are slaves basically. But there's a very, very like dangerous virus going on that makes people like this zombies, basically, like these called trogs. They kind of look like Golem. And there are two choices that you can make. These that, you know, you basically free the slaves and find the cure for them, or you're just gonna help Asher, because actually it turns out that Asher's daughter is the cure for the disease here. I got 10 steel ingots. Here's the frog. Kill him because we can't fast travel otherwise. I can't fast travel right now. Cool. Hopefully I can now. No. Where is the enemy? There we go. So essentially, Werner asks you to take the baby from Asher, and you need to be a free person to do that, because slaves are not allowed in a area where Asher lives. And Medea has an idea, which is sign up for the arena, because sometimes you can be the champion of the arena, and that means that you get freed basically from slavery. So that's the idea of Werner and Medea. That's what we're gonna do.
Madam, the rest.
There we go. Skip some dialogue of Asher. And I need to sign up for the arena, which is gonna be a very hard fight. You will see why. You can use any weapon there. Normally, the game takes away your stuff because you're acting as a slave, so you can't really bring your own weapons here. But since we broke that part, we can bring our weapons in. So this fight's gonna be a bit comical. I don't think they're supposed to be even hard on any other way. All right, there are three rounds. You can see it's kind of easy.
Wow. You again.
Right, second round. There we go. Sometimes these barrels can kill these enemies, but we are not lucky now.
Not bad, Grinder. Not you again.
And we're gonna beat Gruber, who is the last enemy. Oh, I thought he was gonna get killed, but we are not lucky now. There we go, that was Gruber. He was undefeated, but it was really easy to kill him.
Well, good knowing you, Scrap.
There we go, we are free now, and we are allowed to talk to Asher. And this will start the very last quest, called Free Labor. And this is where Werner will follow us. And essentially, I'm just gonna talk to Asher, take his offer, and then just tell Werner to, you know, it's easier to you know, be with Asher, because I don't even know the other option. I think you need to kill a bunch of enemies and Asher as well, and take the baby, and it's I don't think that's the fastest way. This is by far the fastest, I think, for this DLC. There are usually like 2 ways for every DLC that you can do. Same goes for Point Lookout. You will see why. There we go. I just wait a bit because sometimes the dialogue won't start if you don't wait. Just gonna skipping the dialogue.
Work. What? Week. Whatever. All. And keep. Now. Yes. Okay. Nice work in the whole.
There we go. And then his deal is that we need to deal with Asher and Medea.
Oh, Asher told.
This is Asher's wife. That's the baby there. There we go. Yeah, and you're just gonna talk with Werner now. There we go.
Ah, you finally made it.
And that's why we picked the Black Widow perk, so we pass the speed check immediately. I can't speak English today, sorry.
Knew I could.
Alright, and there we go. That was the DLC basically. It was very uneventful in a way, but
Yeah, if it ain't the smartest asshole in the pit.
yeah, but that was it basically. This is not the positive ending, but that's the fastest ending. That's what it matters, and there we go. That's the pit completed. We have 2 more DLCs, and you kind of saw that our DLCs are separated. We don't do this like parallel, so we just do it by one. This gonna change now. We're actually gonna start a DLC, but we're gonna do another one later. We have 2 more DLCs left, Point Lookout and Broken Steel, and as I mentioned, Broken Steel is just an extension of the main quest. This clip is hard sometimes. So you normally have to go to the Citadel now. Since we haven't done any main quest, basically, we can't really enter the Citadel. So we're gonna take the back door here, and we're gonna enter the cutscene, which completes the quest, the American Dream. And normally after that you need to take the very long, again 6-minute long escort quest. It's just not worth it, so we're gonna skip it. And I'm just gonna concentrate really hard to get it. If I don't, I'm gonna reload the safety save for it, I think. But it's supposed to be consistent. There we go. Just entering the cutscene. And a bunch of dialogue skipping is gonna happen.
All I'm saying is the law.
So, you're back.
So I found the gag, but I'm not gonna give it to you. Oh no, not the gag. It took the gag. We're not gonna give the FAV virus.
Before we get started.
So Lion's supposed to give you an armor, but we're not gonna take it because we don't need it.
Okay.
Okay, so Lion's is now your temporary follower. That's why this glitch works basically, because otherwise you have to wait for her to finish the escort quest basically. There we go. So, level up once more, medicine, and then energy weapons. Doesn't matter too much now. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Alright, I'm gonna make a save here. Cross your fingers. This is Liberty Prime. He is walking this very long way to the end of Jefferson. And I'm gonna wait for Lions and actually Liberty Prime to walk. I think I'm fine. And there's a force field around Jefferson, also you can't fast travel to there. So just gonna walk there. And again, this may sound, or this may seem a bit weird now, but yeah, Lions is actually following you right now, and as soon as I enter the door and exit, she will be there, and I will just trigger her at the very end of the purifier. And the way you do it is just confuse her AI by talking to Autumn and telling Autumn that, you know, he needs to just give up because everything is lost, and you achieve that by a speed check. That's why this whole new route exists, basically. I almost messed this up. There we go. I talked to her just to keep her close because she can run off and, you know, kill enemies, and her AI will be so confused that she forgets that she's supposed to be here. There we go. There we go, speed checks. And there we go. Just spawns Lions here.
You're just gonna let him leave?
There we go.
Hello, is anyone there? Dr. Lee?
And there we go. If the game triggers Dr. Lee's dialogue, then you did this correctly.
Well, so much for...
I'm gonna complete the game. Just typing the secret code here from the Bible. And it's gonna be a 3-minute cutscene. And it starts Broken Steel. And yeah, this is 3 minutes long, so I'm gonna let it play and talk after that.
And so it was that the lone wanderer ventured forth from Vault 101, intent on discovering the fate of a father who had once sacrificed the future of humanity for that of his only child. The capital wasteland proved a cruel, inhospitable place, but the lone wanderer refused to surrender to the vices that had claimed so many others. The values passed on from father to child: selflessness, compassion, honor, guided this noble soul through countless trials and triumphs. But it was not until the end of this long road that the lone wanderer learned the true meaning of that greatest of virtues: sacrifice. Stepping into the irradiated control chamber of Project Purity, the child followed the example of the father, sacrificing life itself for the greater good of mankind. Thankfully, when selected by the sinister president to be his instrument of annihilation, the Wanderer refused. Humanity, with all its flaws, was deemed worthy of preservation. The waters of life flowed at last, free and pure for any and all. The capital wasteland, at long last, was saved. So ends the story of the lone wanderer, who stepped through the great door of Vault 101 and into the annals of legend. But the tale of humanity will never come to a close, for the struggle of survival is a war without end. And war never changes.
Feels bad, man. Yeah. So normally the game ends here if you don't have Broken still installed, because you technically die. If you have Broken still installed, then you just into a coma or something, and you know it takes 2 weeks to heal you basically. And the whole DLC is about basically killing the remnants of the Enclave and just helping the Brother of Steel. This is a DLC that's pretty straightforward. You can't really make this any other way. There we go. And yeah, we're gonna do... There's 3 quests, I think. But we're gonna start this and we're gonna do Point Lookout after this, just because it's close to this place. First of all, we need to talk to Rothschild. He's gonna basically gives us the first quest of the DLC. This is just talking to Paladin Tristan.
If there's anything else you...
There we go. He's Paladin Tristan is at the end of, or it's in the southeast corner of the map. It's gonna be a walk there, but right now I'm doing Point Lookout. Point Lookout is in the riverboat landing. Also funny enough that the bombs are still going off, even though we won the battle, but since I skipped the escort mission, then it just broken beyond, basically. Alright, Point Lookout, I think that's the longest DLC. No, sorry, I think Broken is the longest, but again, it's kinda hard to mention it as a normal DLC. But that's still considered DLC, so we do Broken Steel. Anyways, Point Lookout is again a story-wise, it's multiple choice ending quest line. It's probably my favorite DLC in terms of casual playthrough because it's very unique, but it's again broken beyond, kind of. So this girl wants to talk to us to find her daughter, but we don't care about it much.
Welcome, my friend.
Tobar the ferryman offers us rights to Point Lookout. I'm gonna sell the power armor and some weapons, basically. Yeah, I don't need these kind of stuff, but there we go. I need a ticket back and forth. I think it takes you like a month, in-game months, to go to there or something. This is like a swamp area. There are some swamp folk there who are like these mutated hillbillies. Not gonna meet with them much, but gonna probably hear them chasing after us. Alright, so this DLC is about basically 2 rivaling parties. Professor Calvert, who is like a brain, robo brain. He transferred his brain to, you know, robot apparatus, so he can live forever. He was a pre-war scientist. And there's a guy named Desmond who is a ghoul. He's like a agent, and they have an ongoing fight for centuries now, and this whole quest line is about their fight. But first and foremost, we're gonna discover some festival locations and stuff, because, you know, this is a kinda big area compared to like the pit, for example. So That's why it's probably has a good atmosphere, because it's just so waste in terms of the DLCs. Discover Helly's hardware. Yeah. And then go to the Arcs and Dove Cathedral, which is the center of the tribal people here. The tribals are a big part of this area, and they are also a big part of the main story quest line. You need to contact them later. Right now we can't really contact them because we are not supposed to. But since we are on our way, we can discover this location. Hopefully nobody followed me. There we go. And we're gonna walk to the Point Lookout. What is it called? Oh my god. Lighthouse, yeah. Also, we're gonna discover the Calvert Mansion. So normally you meet Desmond in the Calvert Mansion, because he's supposed to be living there, because he doesn't know that Professor Calvert is actually living here, so he took his place. He thinks that he destroyed him, but he's actually still living in the form of a brain. But for some reason, if you just if you saw me like skipping the boat, and we are still on the quest to leave the boat and discover this area, it makes him spawn at the lighthouse, which is the part of the end quest of the DLC. Normally I think he walks from here to the mansion first. That's how you meet him casually. I'm killing these Mirelurks because I'm gonna fast travel here, and I can't if they are here. And it will look a bit funny because of this sequence break, but it's pretty cool. It's much faster now, because we don't want him to spawn at the Calvert Mansion, because there are some enemies there and it takes forever to talk to him. I'm supposed to go out of bounds here and grab a door, if I can. It's not the easiest thing. There we go. Out of bounds, grabbing the door, if I can. And I have to actually walk to a certain way to spawn Desmond. Actually, go down here and go back up. And it will spawn. You saw Desmond spawn there.
Hurry it up. Oh, here comes.
I'm talking him in third person because this is easier. Okay. There we go. And he offers us a job, which is he suspects that there's something wrong with the tribals. He doesn't know what. They are hiding something from him. And he tells you to go to the cathedral and find out what's up. And the only way to know about them is to become the part of the tribe. And there's a ritual to be part of the tribe, basically. What are we gonna do? This clip is very hard, so I might struggle with it for some reason. There we go, easy. Go back to the cathedral.
Who lingers at the threshold?
And they basically send you to a place, and there's a plant in this island called panga fruit, which gives you some hallucinations, I think, and the tribals use it for, you know, ritual purposes. And there's a big base plant called Mother Panga, and you need to get the seeds from it, and that's the you know, ritual completed, and you can be part of the tribe by that. Also, your head will be cut open because they're gonna perform some lobotomy on you. They take part of your brain. It's pretty interesting, but yeah, you don't. It doesn't matter too much in terms of speedruns that what happens to you, and nothing will affect the speedrun. Also, you heard the hillbillies behind me. They're just mutated creatures. They are semi-intelligent, I guess. They are very human-like, unlike the ghouls, the feral ghouls. But they are aggroing to me all the time. Grabbing this axe for good measure. And normally you have to go in like a C-turn, C-shape like way, but what we're gonna do is just skipping all of it by going out of bounds here if I can. This is also a very hard clip. Come on. There we go. And just go to the end where Mother Panga is. Oops. It was scary, I quick loaded by accident. Anyways, this area is surrounded by invisible walls, but turns out there is one tiny gap here which you can just go through. If you quick save, quick load, why not? So you get some Panga seeds and, you know, you get passed out. And this is actually a pretty interesting area. You get all sorts of hallucinations and everything, but you just skipped all of it. The clip back is a bit interesting. It's a bit harder. You have to find a way. We did it though. I'm gonna go back now. And there are some bloat flies there that we need to kill so we can fast travel. There we go. Still have the shock button. This is the reason why I have it. And I go back to the cathedral. And there we go. I proved it that I'm
Truly the
potential good part of the tribe. There we go. This allows us to talk to Nadine. Nadine is actually the daughter of the lady who was at the pier that we skipped the conversation with.
Looks like another newbie.
She tells us who the leader and where is he, and he's gonna give us the key to the like sub where he is. Yeah. You can go back to Desmond now, so you learn the information, but we can just go straight to the sub. Because, believe it or not, Professor Carvelt is there. Turns out that... Oops, that was bad. You're not supposed to go close to this because ghouls will attack you. Next to this place. Anyways, Professor Calvert will be there as a form of a hologram, and turns out that the tribals are worshipping him as a god. And Professor Calvert is like sort of like an evil person, like he's a mastermind. He tries to control the world, and he has actually a device that lets speak to you telepathically and stuff like that. And he's just using the tribe for his own gains, but they misinterpret him, and he's pretty angry about it. But the tribers are his only reliable allies. So that was Jackson, but you know, it doesn't matter. There we go. And now we can go back to... Oops, come on, can't fast travel. Go back to Desmond with the news. that, you know, Professor Calvert is behind strange stuff. There we go.
I knew it. I knew.
And he's planning to do a thing which is destroying his, you know, device where he can control people telepathically, which is on the top of the Ferris wheel. And we have to install this cogwheel jammer. But we're gonna do something else. Oops. We're gonna throw this in the trash and kinda side with the Professor Calvert here. We're gonna go back and forth who are we siding with. But we do this because it doesn't matter too much. This is by far faster than installing it, the Ferris wheel. And the mansion blows up because it's pretty funny. Because I think Professor Calvert blows it up. And now I have to choose between Desmond and Professor Calvert. It doesn't matter though, because no matter what, you still need to kill Professor Calvert, who is here all the time, but you can only access this place if you go out of bounds and just teleport here by warping here. And there we go, we killed him, so we technically did the last quest, because we choose between the two of them. And Desmond is just somewhere there, and there we go. That's Point Lookout in a nutshell. Wasn't that hard to do. And then we're gonna go to Little Lamplight, because right now I'm gonna meet Paladin Tristan, and we have one more DLC left to go. So yeah. Alright, this is a fairly long walk. Again, the thing about DLCs is that Bethesda kinda distributed it to the whole full map, because otherwise it would be really concentrated, so the developers just put extra content into the game by installing them in a specified spots all over the map. Similar to New Vegas, by the way. New Vegas kind of works the same way, that you need to go very different places to trigger the DLCs. As I mentioned, Broken City is just an extension of the main storyline. It's pretty linear. First of all, Death from Above is a quest where you need to destroy one of their bases of the Enclave, and sadly some very sad thing gonna happen. Not gonna spoil it. I don't want you to be sad this early. But yeah, that's why there are these long walks, because pretty much since you don't really complete normally, the game developers expected you to that you complete the main game and a little bit of that, and then the DLCs, so you can do this parallel or combined. But since we don't really touch the main game, then this is gonna be kind of like that. But as for marathons or like charity marathons, there's a bunch of time to explain some messages and announce some donations maybe. But yeah, not much big walking section left. This is the only one that's left. It's pretty far southeast, southwest. And sadly, it's not gonna be that exciting because this will need to. Oh, so many Yogg-Bites here. These are these irradiated birds. They are pretty scary. Yeah, we have to basically wait for Liberty Prime, because Liberty Prime is here as well. He's supposed to help us, and just gonna have to wait till he clears out the place and we can watch him from a safe distance. So Paladin Tristan is not part of the main game, he is only added at the DLC. He's supposed to be our mentor, and you know, we had to help him. But normally he will just, you know, run after us. There we go. This thing blow up. Here's Liberty Prime. And he will destroy these force fields and also infiltrate their base. What I like to do here is trying to jump here and poke here. It's actually very hard. If you do this, then you definitely get a PB. There we go. Looks cool. Hey. And you can do some funny stuff by... Well, I was gonna jump on this head, but... whatever.
Scanning defenses. Structural weakness detected. Exploiting.
Here we go.
German chain will fail. China will fall.
Yeah, he's talking about China, by the way, because he's a pre-war robot. So he's programmed to kill the communists. Okay, comrade. But he's programmed now to kill the Enclave. It's kind of funny because the Enclave is the complete opposite, basically, of China. So, yeah, there's a warning, and sadly, Liberty Prime won't survive the orbital strike, and he's destroyed now. RIP. But this is canon. This is part of Fallout 4 as well. If you played it, the Brotherhood ending requires you to rebuild him. There we go. You have to wait for a while to open this door and then get the telemetry data for Rothschild. So you have to run through this section, which can be scary because a bunch of soldiers here to shoot us. There we go. Take the right here. Gonna move around so they miss their shot. Jump down here. Negating fall damage. Quick safety clothing again. Think I forgot to mention that. You don't take fall damage if you quick safety clothe just before hitting the ground. Going up, back, and then opening this door. And I just don't want to get crippled now. And let's download the telemetry data. There we go. Gonna heal up a bit because, again, don't want to get crippled. And I have to fast travel from here back to the citadel, but sometimes there are enemies nearby, so that's why I can't do this. There we go. Let's ring back to the citadel. Cool. Again, the bombs are still going off. It won't stop. So we have to tell the sad news to Rothschild, who is like the sort of like the father of the Liberty Prime. He started the project. He was the leader of the project, and sad news is that his basically son died.
The Brotherhood is at your service.
Killed in action.
The Brotherhood.
Yeah, he's pretty pissed.
Sorry, I'm very busy right now.
There we go, and we need to talk to other lions
Perhaps one of the other scribes could
Honor us with your
to actually complete this quest. And he gives us the next quest, which is shock value.
presence here.
And the part of that quest is to need to get the Tesla coil, because there's a weapon that we're trying to build which is really overpowered and could be useful for the Brotherhood, which is the Tesla cannon. So you need the Tesla coil for that, because
Nice work,
that's the only technology that you need to actually obtain for that. And it's at Old Olney, and we're gonna go there. And it's close to the alien homing beacon. We need to walk there. Again, these sections of the DLC are not available until you actually trigger it. Technically, I could have discovered Old Olney and just fast traveled there, but it's the same amount of walk.
Attack on hostile target.
This place is normally very scary because it's crawling with that close. But there's actually a way around this place where technically that close won't follow you. He's just going right and then trying to clip inside of Old Olney Hill. I haven't done this for a while, but it's supposed to be good. There we go. It's not even a clip, but a jump. But you need to void out here. Please. Oh, come on. Why can't I void out? This is supposed to be easy. This is weird. Supposed to be an easy void out. I'll try going back and forth now. Just because it sometimes fixes it. If you can't void out, there we go. First try. With that flow here. He was blocking the way, so I kill him. Oops.
What the?
I was supposed to kill this guy, but he talked to me way fast. Doesn't matter too much. I'm trying to void out here if I can. There we go. And go left. So here comes a very hard trick. You need to go out of bounds and grabbing a ledge out of bounds and then jumping back inbounds. It's a bit hard, so make a save here. We almost got it. That was a fast clip, but couldn't get the ledge. Oh god. Yeah, it's too low. Let's try a bit higher. Oh my god. There we go. And I'm gonna jump here. There we go. It's kind of a hard jump just because you can't really see where you are jumping. And I'm gonna jump here, and instead of falling out of bounds, I'm gonna jump here if I can. I might have missed this. Yeah, I think I missed it. Wow. I'm trying to... Oh, I think I can jump here, yeah. If I can. I was supposed to jump here. Oh, this is very bad. I'm stuck. Oh. I might be able to clip in bounds and then... Yeah, just need to grab the door here. Doesn't matter, but This went a bit interesting. Anyways, what you need to do is jump there and grab that door out of bounds, and you can go back in bounds again. Oh my god, my movement here is so bad. I don't know why though. Ooh. Just quick save, quick loading, so I don't get wrecked by that guy. It is not the hardest DLC, but apparently I'm having a bit of a struggle. Avoid out here, and I'm gonna get the Tesla coil finally, which is here. I just need to turn off the power. It's 3 power switches. Oops. Anyways, we got the Tesla coil. It was a bit hard, but we did it. Nice. And we can go back to the Citadel, telling Paladin Tristan the good news. There we go. The Tesla cannons can be made. And basically we need to infiltrate their very final base, which is Adams Air Force Base. And this is the final attack on the Enclave. This will be the final quest of the DLC.
You found it.
And the end of the run. There we go. You need to go to the presidential metro. So you can actually enter the area, the Adams Air Force Base. This might be a bit of a problem because I kind of forgot how to clip out here, but I think this will be fine. Oh, you just go here. Yeah, doesn't matter. Okay. Since this is a new route, I got confused there for a sec, but it's fine. Because in the other route you... Yeah, well, I used to complete the... you know, the escort mission, so these force fields are down because you did this correctly. Anyways, you need to go to Anacosta metro station and then walk to the presidential metro there. So this is also a walking section, but you have to be kind of careful. I'm going out of bounds here and void out so I can access the exit much easier. This is close to the Rangers compound for Riley's Rangers quest in the main game, but we don't touch that here.
Time to die!
There are gonna be some weird clips here and autobahn stuff as well. I only messed up the jump there and I didn't want to get warp back and do this again, so just struggling to get in bounds there, but hopefully this section will go nicely. Just need to go out of bounds here. First try, nice. And you get to the other side of the metro, because metro stations are interior cells and you can just warp through them depending on where is the COC location is, and it's very convenient here. Alright, it's gonna be a bus here or a truck, which I'm gonna shoot just because it kills the super mutants next to it, for safety purposes. Gotta take a stim pack, just in case. There we go. You have to get to the end of the base here. And the similar idea is that you're gonna Gonna go out of bounds here and grabbing that platform here, or basically ceiling. And this is a bit confusing because, again, alright, you don't see the ground, so I'm just gonna crouch and then go back from crouch, just because I don't fall. This won't make much sense, but as you can see, it's a bit confusing. I did not mean to do that. I need to jump where those doors are, but I can't see the ground. There we go, did it. Ooh, so that's the hardest part of this section. But I need to go back in bounds so I can escape. And I'm gonna go back in bounds here, which is just trying to save kick load. There we go. I'm gonna open this door here by activating this alarm. For safety, I'm gonna pick up stimpaks, but that's the last time I'm gonna do that. There are some robots here fighting with these ghouls. I'm gonna kill one sentry bot here soon because he can kill me very easily. Let's do this. There we go. You're supposed to power up this metro, but you can just press the console out of bounds, or not out of bounds, the third person interaction glitch. And you just powered up the metro. Or not really, you can't open the doors, you need to find a way to open the doors. But you don't need to open the doors with this glitch. Anyways, we are coming to the end soon. I'm just gonna, since I couldn't open the doors, I just need to flip out. There's one more big skip coming up right up, called the Tesla cannon jump. So the Tesla cannons are really useful. Not really for shooting anything, but for a trick that we're gonna do. Found by It's Jabo, the world record holder of this category. So, okay, normally you have to enter the base by lowering a ramp from, or a platform from a tower, going back and going up the ramp. I don't know why this exists. This is just to elongate the DLC, I guess. It adds like a minute, doesn't matter too much. But we're gonna skip that, and we're trying to skip the lowering of this ramp and just access the door. And we're gonna do that by basically standing on the Tesla cannon on the ground. So the Tesla cannon acts as a stool for us, basically. I guess that's the only useful thing for that weapon. Alright, I'm trying to do this. It's not the easiest thread, but I've done it a couple of times and it's not that rocket science. You just need to have a good setup for this. This is not a good setup. I'm gonna just grab it. Alright, seems good. And I'm trying to... no, it's not good. It's kinda hard to jump on it. It's kinda hard not to just... it's supposed to be good, actually. Yes, I can grab it now. There we go. There we go. And that was the last hard thing to do. The only thing that can kill the run now, or not really kill, but elongate, is that I get crippled, because everything is against me here. But I can finish the run by that, but it's just... would be very inconvenient. And... technically there's one choice at the end, which is blowing up the citadel or the platform itself. Anyways, this base is gonna destroyed, so it doesn't matter. You're still gonna defeat the enclave, but technically you can make one last shot by the whole base, or for some reason you can destroy the citadel. And we can actually choose that. It's a very bad thing, it's like probably the worst thing ever, but you skip 1 minute long cutscene by doing that. But this can be essentially a, you know, bit worth thing for a marathon or something. So there's a cutscene after this, after you get off this plane, but actually time ends when you enter this vertibird.
Surprised to see me?
And time. Sub 140, nice. And that completes the DLC, not right now, but when we land. Normally, if you enter this vertibird by choosing to blow up the Air Force base completely, then you're gonna enter this vertibird and land on another platform and watch the whole thing blow up. That's a minute to the run. It doesn't really worth it, but it can be a choice. And again, it's a really bad thing, so they're gonna be pissed, but we still complete the DLC by that, no matter how bad this is. It was a decent run, I think. It wasn't the best, but went well.
What the hell? The whole place.
Yeah, I did this as a traitor. Anyway. Yeah, that was it. That was the run. We completed all the DLCs. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Alright, goodbye.